8 o'clock on the dot, March 4th. A strange day, March 4th. It's supposed to be a strange day. I see Walt down in the green room rubbing his hands nice and warm. We're both old and cold. I just old and cold, and also probably fat. Hey, welcome to Cool Crap We Love. This is episode number 36. Do you believe it? 36. Oh my goodness. And this is a show about dead or alive, which I could laugh at while I'm alive. And I even laugh at people that are dead. Speaking of which, I brought somebody along real quick. I was just looking through my stuff here. Look at this. Check this out. Say hello. There you go. Look up there. Look up. Hey, are we dead or alive? 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 Are you okay? I'm crazy. All right. Hey, so we want to bring on Walt. That's silly, I know. I want to bring on Walt, the co-host here. Walt poops a lot. Here he comes. Walt, welcome. There you go.
You know, I wish I had a puppet. I should bring up like my little lamb shop to see if I could do it. But hey, it's good to be here. It's good to be alive.
We're healthy and young, right? We're not fat and old.
You know, years ago when I used to do those parish plays in the church, and one of the songs I sang with two girls was "I'm young and healthy." It's funny you should bring that up. Brings back memories to me.
Actually, I'm happy to be young and healthy. Whatever. You know, look, we're here. We're doing it. You know, we're having fun. Things are going well. It's the pandemic is ending.
It's ending.
Texas, what did they do? Opened everything up.
100%.
Yeah, that's right.
100%. Mississippi, and I think Florida followed behind.
No such thing as mask holes.
No way. I'm in, baby. I am in. New York and New Jersey can't be far behind from this. Connecticut.
No. They're opening up New York, they said. What did I get? 35% going to 50%. I'm hearing, I don't know. You know things are really good when Broadway comes back. When Broadway.
Well, they're not coming back till 2022. And that's what I heard because well, I heard that it better be 100% or they're not opening, because once they open and if they have to close again, they're not risking that. It's just too much money to open up again.
Yeah, well, thank you, Governor. Actually, you're not a governor. You're not sexually harassing anyone.
Here, this is Governor. I killed people over here, but look over here. Look over here. Right? Look at this shiny object over here.
What? Hey, I felt like Captain Kirk suddenly. Hey, we don't do politics.
We don't do political stuff. No, look at this over here, and look at this shiny object over here.
That's what's going on now. He didn't kill anybody.
I feel like kissing you because I'm Italian.
He's sexually harassing. Did you see that big apology? That was amazing. Anyway, we don't do it. I don't even want to get into it. So
we don't want to do it.
No,
you're Italian. You kiss everybody.
What's today?
Today is March 4th, the big day.
It's Dead or Alive. It's Dead or Alive Day.
It is Dead or Alive Day. It's funny that it's on March 4th.
Look, somebody's telling me how to say your name the right way.
What is that? Governor? Oh, Governor Pavel.
Hello, Governor. Hello.
Governor. Yeah, what we're going to do, we came up with this idea during the week. We were going to do, you know what we were going to do? Last week we did people who did not age well. So I was looking for pictures for people who didn't look so great when they started out, but they aged well.
And in case anybody forgot,
I couldn't find like more than one picture.
This is what I look like as a kid, in case you forgot. That was my and there's my baby pictures. That was me as a kid. Look, I don't even think it wasn't me, it was a clone. It was
you look like the kid on Please Don't Eat the Daisies that got put up for adoption.
And there's Walt as a kid.
What? Listen, I don't like that you still have these.
Actually, I late at night I take them out and I do perverted things to those photos.
Yeah, Dead or Alive. So this is how we're gonna go about this. I'm going to be the game show host because I did all the work. You just do all the technical stuff. I'm like with Opie and Anthony. You're Opie, the board operator. I'm Anthony, the talent.
Okay.
All right. So I got the pictures, and I know who's dead and who's alive.
Okay.
I know a little bit more.
The power.
I'm wielding the power.
Yes, I have no ego here. I'll let you do it. However, you sent me over some pictures today. I threw them in. I see a couple of them that I may know. However, I don't know if I know them all.
You'll know them. You'll know them.
You know, by the way, I don't think, well, looking at the first few pictures, I don't think I would have chose the people that you chose. I don't know.
You know what I was trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to choose people. Like, listen, if you chose, you know, if you chose Robert Young from Father Knows Best, everybody knows that Robert Young died. But do you know, like, the son on the show that nobody knows, did he die?
Yeah, but
so everybody knows when the famous people die.
Well, Walt, once you start doing shows from 1958, chances are most of the people are dead. It's 70 years ago already. You'd have to be a kid and hopefully be alive.
You want to make a bet?
Well, okay. Look, I'm alive.
You're alive
so far.
What year were you born? 58, 9 or something?
I'm not that old. Cut that.
What are you like? 62?
I almost cursed. You see, just for that, I'm gonna actually do more biddings to this picture.
Look at you making the girl cry.
You know, I could tell that you're really old when you have a picture that's black and white and yellowed. It's like, what is that? Colorized.
Well, that was a yellow dress. That was
Technicolor. Yeah.
That was shot in Technicolor.
Who is that little girl, by the way? What's her name?
Her name is Deborah Rayside. Actually, if you remember with the big wheel, remember I told you a story about the big wheel? I told the girl to get on. She fell off and broke her arm.
Yeah.
That's her.
That's her. They call it Deborah Golden Showers because you got the older. All right.
Actually, so my father's brother married her sister. That's why we were the ring bearer and the flower girl.
And you were the flower girl or the ring bearer?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I played the flower girl later on.
Yeah. And to this day?
Till this day, I still do it.
I like to see that. All right. So the first person coming out, and we have tons of people watching us. Oh, my goodness. There's so many. John Hunt is on there. Look at that. Ghost Hunter. So, okay. Let's bring up the first one, Mr. Walt.
Let's see. You're gonna screw me up here. Go ahead. I bet.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you exactly in the order that I think you sent them. And
but they don't have to be in the order that I sent them. But go ahead.
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive? You don't know who that is?
Terry Garr.
That is Terry Garr.
Yeah, and she's
what is she famous for? She was in Mr. Mom, I think. She was in Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
she was in there.
Was she? I would imagine. I don't know. I mean, but I would imagine she's alive.
Terry Garr. Terry Garr, beautiful girl. I loved her. She was one of the girls I grew up with. Okay. Terry Garr is alive.
Thank you very much. I got that.
Terry Garr. That's not too bad. Terry Garr, 1945.
How old do you think she's dead? I would think she's alive. Okay. And she's cute.
76 years young for that woman. That's not a picture of her.
Well, that looks like 1970s kind of. We could see the hair and stuff.
Yeah, you want to do that. You want to bring them up now because, you know, you bring up, like we brought up Axl Rose now. You wouldn't even know it was him.
That's very true. Last week, I think we did bring up Axl Rose.
Yeah, but she was one of my favorite actresses. And even in Young Frankenstein, she's like, that was the one who's like, what knockers? And she's like, oh, thank you, doctor.
That's right.
Oh, thank you, doctor.
So I'm 1 for 1. I'm 1 for 1.
You are 1 for 1 on
all right, next one coming up is all right. Is this Tony Curtis?
No, it's not.
It looks.
You know who that is? No. See, Tony Curtis again would have been. People know if he's dead or alive. This is Dick Gordier. He played Jaime the Robot on Get Smart.
Get Smart. Wow.
See, now I told you you didn't know these guys, but now you know who they are.
Is that the name, Dick Gordier?
Dick Gordier.
Okay.
Right. He would always be on like Tattletales with Bert Convy, him and his wife, while she was in the TV, and he was answering questions. But he was Jaime the Robot. That was.
I wonder if people in the chat would know these people too, as you bring up. If you guys want to bring it up, and before I do it, please feel free to tell us.
But they're not going to. Yeah, they're not going to do. Oh, they're not going to get the answers to you quick enough.
Okay.
But everybody, just say if you know Dick Gordier. I mean,
Dick Gordier. Let me think about that. Now, that show was in. It was in black and white. So, I don't know for a fact. I would say he's dead.
Dick Gordier is dead. He's dead. But here's the thing. He didn't die until 2017.
Oh, recently?
Yeah, so your logic sucks.
What do you? No, my logic is right. I would assume he's dead. All right, so I got
1931. But had we done this show 4 years ago, he'd be alive.
Yeah. Okay. 2 for 2.
You are 2 for 2. But admit that the guys, people that you didn't know, I will explain them to you, and you will know them.
Well, I'm giving you all the authority. You're like the fake president.
I'm the producer. I'm the producer here.
All right, next one up is. All right,
you know who that is?
I know. I never watched the show. This is the guy from the Love Boat, the captain of the Love Boat.
The captain of the Love Boat.
His name. I would imagine he's alive.
That's Gavin MacLeod.
Yes. Okay.
Gavin MacLeod. He was also on Mary Tyler Moore Show. He was another writer on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. So okay. Mary and I forgot what his name was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. But Gavin MacLeod, 1931, 90 years old, and he is still kicking. He's alive. You are 3 for 3.
3 for wow.
You're using crazy logic here.
I'm using logic. Well, crazy. I have a crazy puppet right here, so I'm good.
Right.
All right, yes. So I got 3. I'm enjoying the game now. I'm getting everything right. I'm about to go to Atlantic City.
This would suck if you were 0 for 3. You're like, this game sucks.
All right, next guy.
But listen, hang on. So we got to talk more about these things because you're going to blow through all of these in like 8:30, and we're going to have nothing to talk about.
That.
Yeah. Well, we're both still alive in that picture.
Go ahead. What do you want to say about this?
No, that's it. I mean, Gavin MacLeod. You watch what's the call? Pluto TV, and they have a Love Boat channel, and I was watching until I get into this, Queen of the South and all these drugs. I could literally make crystal meth now. I know how to drug deal and how to deal all the drugs from Queen of the South.
I'm going to watch it. That's on.
Yeah, he's on the Love Boat channel. Pluto.
That's on Netflix. Queen of the South.
It's on Netflix. Queen of the South, very good
series.
Show.
Not just one
series. I'm in season 3 right now. I think there's 5 seasons.
I started watching The Punisher. I watched like 3 or 4 in one night. It was really good. I was getting into it, and then since I don't know, I started doing this maybe months ago. I haven't watched the rest of it. I never finished this because I get too distracted and I'm doing comedy. I'm doing magic. I'm writing jokes. I'm doing close-up magic. I'm booking acts. And you're creating new material. You're learning new things. Working. All these stuff. Learning this text junk.
You're never going to be able to retire.
I'm already retired. All right. In fact, this whole pandemic, I'm retired. So, all right. You don't want to talk. You want to talk more about these people? However,
no, let's drag it out a little bit.
Wait a minute. Let's drag this. I'm looking at it like you answer the question, I get it right or wrong, and then we move on. What's to talk about? I want to talk about the Korea Jaime the robot. What's the point?
He was great in that.
He was. He really was. And I really remember I liked Agent 99. Was that her name? The girl.
That was her. We went through that. That was 99. That's all she was known on there. And when they got married, Maxwell Smart and 99 got married. The priest said, "Do you, Susan, take Max to be your lawfully wedded wife?"
Right.
Susan. And he goes like this, Susan. He didn't even know her name was Susan.
And I remember, I think I also mentioned too that really hot when I was a kid. I thought Mrs. Peel was very hot from the Avengers. I think it was.
She was, man. Actually, that picture of you and your wife last week, your wife had that little Avengers thing going on.
I know. My wife's a hottie. All right, so here we go. Next one up. All right, this is, okay. I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard.
You know who that is?
Night Court. He was on Night Court. He played the bailsman or whatever. I don't remember.
Richard Moll. M-O-L-L.
Okay.
Richard Moll.
I watched Night Court a little bit because Harry Anderson was a magician, a comic.
Harry Anderson, magician. Marky Post was in that show. She was beautiful. She was a hot little thing. Which there's a rumor that she slept with Hillary Clinton. Marky Post.
Who hasn't?
Bill, probably.
Yeah, I was just to say that's the only one that hasn't.
But. Yeah, Marky. Who else was in that? That was Selma Diamond. Was the old lady who talked like this?
Wait a minute. The African American woman who played. She was a great comic, by the way, a great stand-up. What was her name?
Warfield.
Marsha Warfield. Marsha Warfield had a great bit about sleeping with an old man. And she was like, whatever it was, the punchline was like, yeah, this is what I want to do is sleep with an old man and do it for a really long time with him. It was something like that. It was the punch. I just remember it was a really great setup punch. She's a very funny stand-up. All right, so I'm going to say.
Marsha Warfield and I don't talk anymore.
I know you mentioned that you had an issue with her.
Yes, I had a political issue with Marsha Warfield on Facebook.
Oh, really? Political?
Back in like 2015.
You're political?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
She did, but she wouldn't stop.
I never knew you were political. I never realized that. Yeah, hey, you know, you learn new things every day. I didn't even know you had gray hair. I didn't even know you used to look like. I didn't know you wore tuxedos. So, okay, you know, this is a catch-22 for me because I would imagine he's alive. However, for some reason, I'm thinking he's dead at some weird thing. So, I don't remember hearing much about this guy later on. You know. I'm going to say dead because I haven't heard anything about him ever since, but I would think he's alive. But I'm going to say dead because calculated risk. Go ahead.
All right. So Richard Mall, who played Bull Hurley, I think his name was, Bull on the show, was born in 1942, and he is 78 years old and still kicking. So you had it, and I was trying to keep the smile off my face.
All right.
You had it. But again, if I would have brought up Harry Anderson, what would you
he's dead? He's dead.
Yeah,
we know he's
Everybody knows who the star of the show is. He's dead.
Yeah,
you know, Selma Diamond was 150 years old in the show back in the 80s, so she was dead. That guy, he could have went either way.
Chances are he should be alive because it was done in the 80s, early 80s, maybe, right?
Yep.
So you'd think he'd be alive, but I haven't heard a thing about that guy forever. And I thought, oh, maybe he's dead because you just never heard anything from him again, you know?
Yeah. He's got like that David Letterman beard going and all of, you know, hair all over the place. So
he was very popular for that little period of time, and boom.
That's correct. Harry's probably like a director or something like that.
Director? He's 80 years old. It's directing. He's
Richard, 78 years old.
Yeah, he's directing his urine, hopefully through the right tubes.
He's directing himself to the refrigerator at night.
That's what I'm doing. Boy, I must be 78 years old.
You're getting there.
I just had Chinese food for dinner, by the way, which I don't like to eat. And I had egg foo young, and I started eating the 3 patties. I had a little bit, another one, next time. I ate all 3 patties.
Yes, very easy to do.
It's very easy. It's light. It's airy. You know,
when something is good, you can't stop. You can't stop doing it.
That's my problem. I can't stop. I like to. Food is my hobby.
If I had jelly rings, I would.
Walt. Oh, John Walt. David's on Penn and Teller tomorrow night. That's great. We'll definitely watch it. I love Penn and Teller.
Yeah. Thanks for interrupting our show for your Penn and Teller show.
Because we're here to promote. No, actually, I'm good with David. He's a good guy. Well, I'm looking forward. I'm actually dying to see that. He was a Murray on Mary Tyler.
Murray.
That's right.
Murray. He was Murray. That was Gavin MacLeod. Yeah, he was Murray on Mary Tyler.
John Hunt's keeping my tally over there. All right, so let's see. All right, next guy up.
You are 3-1.
I'm 3-1. I blew that one. Okay, next one up is. Oh wow, I remember that guy. What show? Alan Melvin, right? What was? I know his name because it's written on the name. I remember the face. I'm going to say
Sam the Butcher.
What was it?
That was Sam the Butcher. He was bringing the meat to Alice on the Brady Bunch.
Okay, that's who he is. Okay,
Sam the Butcher.
I'm going to say Sam the Butcher is dead.
I have him, Sam the Butcher, 1923.
Definitely be dead. Definitely be dead.
Sam the Butcher is dead. Sam the Butcher died in 2002. Not only is he dead, I'm sorry, 2008. He's been dead for a long time. He's been dead for like 13 years now.
His 8x10 is black and white, and that show took place in like 1973 or 2 or 4 or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So Sam the Butcher is dead. He's
Alan Melville. It says it on there, right? The picture, Alan Melville.
Yeah, it says it. It doesn't say Butcher. It says Alan Melville. But what about Alice? She must be dead too.
I'm sure Ann B. Davis is dead. Mike, Robert Reed died. He was like one of the first actors to ever die of the HIV or AIDS, whatever it was. Greg Brady. They're all the kids are still alive.
Wow,
all the kids are still alive. So they're easy, but nobody knows who Sam is. So that's why I brought him up.
He's playing with the meat in heaven. There you go.
he's delivering meat to Ann B. Davis in heaven,
right. in a spiritual way.
I like that book.
Is that wrong to say? Is that wrong? Are we going to be canceled for that?
Yeah, right. We're only canceled if you decide we're canceled.
No, I'm just saying though. If him slamming ham in heaven is nasty. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if Biden just canceled the book,
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss. I mean, if that's what we're doing must be hellish at this point.
We'll be canceled. We'll be canceled.
Next guy up, I don't know who he is, and it's with puppets. It's got to be Jim. It's got to be Jim Henson, right?
That's not Jim Henson.
It's not.
Everybody knows that Jim Henson passed away from the flu. That is Frank Oz.
Frank Oz. Okay, Frank Oz is dead.
Frank Oz. Now, he was the voice of Miss Piggy. And what was that other one there? What's his name?
Fozzie Bear?
Fozzie Bear. So,
Miss Piggy and Fozzie Bear. Frank Oz also was the guy in the beginning of the Blues Brothers who gave Jake back all his stuff, in the bag. Frank Oz. So Frank Oz was born in 1945 and is 76 years old, and he's still alive.
No.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Frank Oz is still alive.
Did you get this from like some internet chat channel, or you really researched this really well?
I got this from I got this from CNN.
Oh, then we know it's wrong. All right, so
it said he was alive.
I'm 2. What am I? I'm 3 for 2. Is it?
You are 3 and 2.
Wow. Like you said earlier, the game is sucking.
Now all of a sudden, I don't want to play.
I don't want to play.
You're outthinking yourself. You're outthinking yourself here.
Yeah, maybe so. All right.
So Frank Oz is alive. He was the guy in the beginning of the Blues Brothers that
one pair of black sunglasses, one black hat, one jacket, black.
Are you trying to trick me with these? Because every picture you sent is black and white.
I just grabbed one that I thought would be it. Yes, so there is some trickery in there. All right.
Beverly Owen. She's
Beverly Owen. You know what she's known for?
No.
You know who she is?
I know the name, but I don't know what she did. No.
That was the first Marilyn Munster.
Right.
Beautiful girl. And if you remember, I don't know if when you had Butch Patrick on your show, I couldn't bring up Butch Patrick because you interviewed him.
He's alive.
Yeah, he's alive. You interviewed him. I mean, it was a dead interview, but you interviewed him.
It was a very good interview.
I liked him. But he did tell you about Beverly Owen that she was homesick and from her boyfriend and wanted to go home.
Yeah, wanted to get.
So she left the show and they let her out of the contract. Beverly Owen, 1937.
Got to be dead.
83 years old. She died in 2019.
I'm so
happy. She wasn't almost dead.
See, yeah, I'm happy that somebody's dead. That's not real. That's really good.
You're happy that Beverly Owen is dead.
But it'd be funny if I die this week. Everyone could laugh at me.
But bring her up. Bring up how beautiful she is. Look at how beautiful she is.
But I think the second Marilyn was even prettier.
It's funny because I do have the second Marilyn coming up soon.
Do you really?
But this one here, she's beautiful, and it was so
in the bedroom. Off the wall, taped to the wall in the bedroom with the Farrah pole?
I do, yes. I did take the picture on my wall. But she always on the show referred to her as the ugly duckling of the family.
Right.
Because all the monsters were ugly. But yes, she was a beautiful girl back then. But you would never think 1937 this woman was born.
No. Well, she's dead, and I'm right. I'm 4 for 3.
I don't care. I don't care. She's dead, and that's all.
What am I? What's my score?
You are 4 and 2.
Okay.
Getting a little bit better.
Oh, Pat. So Dave said Pat Priest is alive. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right. Next one coming up after that. Okay. I was a big fan. I used to like this guy. Roger Healy from
Roger Healy. He was the the comic relief on the side of Tony Nelson and Jeannie and Dr. Bellows.
I liked his character. I remember he was like the funny. He was funny. He was like offbeat, always like worried and nervous.
He covered.
Yeah.
He knew that Jeannie existed and that Jeannie was a genie.
Right.
And he was the only other one besides Tony Nelson that knew about Jeannie.
What year? Let's see now. No, not that he's alive or dead. What year was it that show aired? Do you know?
I gotta believe it was in like 66 or so, 1966.
Okay, and in 66, looking at him, in 66, look at him. He's probably about, I would imagine, 40 years old. So, you're looking at 60. He's dead. He's definitely dead. Dead.
He's dead.
Actually, dusty.
Bill Daly was born in 1927. He was 91 years old when he died in 2018.
Whoa! Just snuck under that one.
You just got in there. I was hoping that you listen. He had some boyish looks there.
Yeah, but he looks like he's 40 years old in the 60s. So there you go. You do the math. That would be 60 years ago, and then he's 100. So okay, I get it. I'm all right. So what's my score?
You are 5-2, but you got Roger Healy correct.
I hope you're keeping good track of this stuff, huh? Okay.
It's actually called math. Yeah, Roger Healy is dead.
Roger Healy's dead. All right, this guy. Oh, I remember this guy.
Yes.
Now, was that on Mary Hartman, or was that? Let me look at his face again. He was the. Damn,
he was the husband. He was a husband.
He was the husband of. All right. Oh boy, that's.
I'll tell you his name on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Finley.
I remember. All right, what's the show?
Maud. His wife was Maud Finley. B. Arthur. Remember Maud? That was a spinoff from.
Right, and he was like a very passive. Yeah, she was aggressive, and he was like a very passive guy. Like, right?
Yes. His name is Bill. His name is Bill Macy.
All right. So now, what year was that?
Also, Bill Macy was in The Jerk. If you remember the movie The Jerk, he was the one that they fixed his glasses for the Opti grab.
Right.
So Steve Martin fixed his. Here, fix these suckers. So yes, Bill Macy.
And then there was Maud. Okay.
And then there was Maud. And then there was Maud.
Dead. I'm going to say dead. It's possible he's alive because that was probably like 75-ish, 6, 7, 8, like something like that. But again, he's like 40 years old there in 75, and that's 45 years ago, and he'd be 85. That's on the border, but chances are dead.
Dead? Bill Macy was born in 1924.
Oh, he's definitely dead.
Bill Macy died at the tender young age of 97 in 2019.
Whoa. Snuck in there again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I'm liking this.
97 years old. You imagine what that bed smelled like after he got out of it?
I don't know. I don't know. 97 years old. That's got to be rough, man. That's got to be like everything's got. I mean, I'm in my 50s here and everything's hurting now.
Right.
And imagine 150 more years from now. Oh my goodness, that must.
I'm 57. I'm 57 years old, and I'm part of the Dollar Shave Club. Today, I ordered ball spray.
Well,
they have a thing called ball spray.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually I know what you're talking about. I haven't had the need.
I don't have the need, but I had to order it just as a prop. So I put it in my medicine cabinet with the words sticking out to see if my wife notices it. She comes, "Why do you have ball spray?"
Well, it'd be like you're doing the old commercial. Gee, your hair smells terrific, and you mean not that hair. But the ball spray. It's an interesting thing too because they didn't make this until recently. This wasn't something that we've had until recently. But I think it's really good to put it inside the bathroom, like in your downstairs, like your regular home.
Where people go.
When people are in the bathroom, they're taking a dump in your bathroom. What do? They open up the cabinets, they look around, and they read the instructions on the back of, like, let's say Q-tips or something, right? And so they open that up in your house after, in between dinner, and they go, ball spray. And then
Mitchell Walters.
Who's using that? Walt or his wife?
Right. You remember? You know Mitchell Walters. Mitchell Walters, who's a comedian friend of ours that just passed away a couple of weeks ago. He does a bit about that people always go into medicine cabinets at other people's houses. And he goes, if you don't think people go into your medicine cabinet at home, take all the stuff out of it and fill it up with ping pong balls.
It's true. When they open it, they're like,
They're all the ping pong. Oh, what the hell does he got ping pong balls in here for?
That's very true. It's very, very true. And I got to admit, I'm one of those people that if I'm sitting there, if there's no reading material, I may pick something up. First of all, there's nothing worse than being at somebody's house and having to go to the bathroom with a number 2 in their home.
I can't do that.
Well, I don't want to do it. But if worse comes to worse, you had to do it.
I'm like, honey, we got to go home.
You'd actually leave. How about if you're far away?
Yeah, I'd leave. You know what? I would rather actually leave and go to a diner.
Well, what are you going to say? Listen, I just got a friend of mine. I have to go help out. I'll be right back.
This party sucks. Yeah, I'll make up something. I got to go home. I forgot my wallet. Something.
Okay. All right. So it's dead. What's my score?
You are 6-2.
6-2.
But it's a very.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome JohnPIzzi.
Oh yeah, 6-2.
You are just slipping by.
All right. Next one up here is.
Well, everybody knows Seinfeld is. But that's his mother.
That's
Liz Sheridan. Yes.
Yeah.
Liz Sheridan was a really good-looking woman way back in the.
Really, where's the pictures of her way back?
I don't have them, but she was a good-looking woman, Liz Sheridan. Look up Liz Sheridan.
Tell me her name again.
Liz Sheridan.
Liz Sheridan.
Liz Sheridan played Seinfeld's mother. And Barney something played the father. I forgot who it was. But there was a couple people on that show that have passed away. And there's a couple people on there that are alive. You have to guess which one she is.
You said she was a good-looking woman, and you, sir, are absolutely correct. I just found her on a Google search, and darn, she's hot.
No, that's not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're wondering what Bill Macy smells like dead.
She might need ball spray. No, you couldn't find a younger picture of her?
Let me see if there's a younger picture of her.
There's got to be a younger picture of Liz Sheridan.
Give me a moment. I got to.
She was like a sex symbol back then.
Yeah?
Yeah, back in the 50s, 60s. I think she was a sex symbol.
I'm zipping through pictures of
young Liz Sheridan.
That's what I wrote in. Oh, Liz. Whoa.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. And she looks, I think, familiar to me. I'm looking here thinking, I don't know.
Would I ever lie to you?
Was she in some major movies or something? Because she looks familiar.
Yes, bring that picture up. Now I want to see her. Well, is that her?
Yeah, I believe so. Right there, the one with the top one there.
Yeah, I mean, if that's her, I know she was a very good-looking woman back then.
Wow.
Listen, that might be a little too good-looking for her.
Really?
I think you got the wrong Liz Sheridan.
Anyway, let me get back to the point at hand, because
yes,
the question is Liz Sheridan? Age is terrible, isn't it? Age is a terrible thing. We're supposed to embrace. We want to embrace what?
2 weeks in a row, we're making fun of it.
I know. We're both going to be dead in a week. That's what it is. All right. So Liz Sheridan, Seinfeld. Now that's a good question. I would imagine the Seinfeld shows were done in the 90s. So the 90s is like
20 years away.
But she doesn't seem very young here. She probably, I would imagine she's in her near 60 or maybe 60. So 70, 80. I'm going to say she's on the border of dying. I'm going to say she's
she's on a respirator.
I'll say she's alive.
Oh my God. That's amazing. She was born in 1929. She's 91 years old and still kicking around.
Get out of here.
Yeah, she's alive.
Whoa.
Liz Sheridan is alive.
That's true. George Burns he did a show just before he died. George Burns was so great.
Oh, he was 100. He was 100. They had a 100-year birthday party for George Burns.
Yeah, but he just died right after or something. It was like that.
All
right, so I'm really doing. All right, what's the number?
7 and 2.
7 and 2. Okay. All right. Now this one, I'm sorry to say, I know. I think I know. Now I know he looks dead there.
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke, yeah. And I used to watch the Dick Van Dyke show a lot, and I used to love that show with the Marty and the girl. What was that? The female comedian. They were great.
Which one? What?
I believe now. This is a man. I was just going to say I do know, but I don't think I do know now. Now I'm thinking about it. I know. I have friends of mine that are friends with him, and they were supposed to visit him in California not long ago. However, I thought he just recently may have passed away. I think he's now dead. I think he just recently passed away. If he's dead, it happened recently because I remember Bob Rumble was going to go visit him in California, and he wasn't feeling well. I think I hope he's not, but I'm going to say dead.
You are so bad.
Am I?
Dick Van Dyke was born in 1926. 95 years old, and he is alive. So he is. So Bob Rumble can go visit him.
Well,
I would ask him to put a little makeup on, a little stage makeup. Maybe some of that chimney smoke.
I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry that I called him out as being dead. That was terrible. That's terrible. And he's alive. That's
Boy,
terrible.
This show. Not only did you go 7 and 3 right now, but now you feel guilty.
I do feel guilty because I never met him, but I probably could maybe, and I don't know. It's not
now. Not if he sees this.
He's not watching this show.
Is he one of our viewers? Dick Van Dyke is 95 years old. But 1926 he was born.
All right. This is the lady that does the Agatha Christie kind of stuff. I remember
Murder She Wrote. Angela Lansbury.
Mm-hmm. And she was old then in the 80s. So, I mean, she's probably she's probably in the 60s here, if not more. 60s, yeah. So what's that? The 80s, I believe that show was on. 90, 2000 is dead. I'm going to say dead.
Angela Lansbury was born in 1925. She is 95 years old, and she's still alive. Her and Dick Van Dyke are dating, actually.
Oh, wow.
2 in a row.
Now I'm horrible. Sorry, Miss Lansbury. I'm so sorry.
So she's dead. See, you know what your problem is? You think anybody who was old back then is dead.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, but your math sucks.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the best I can here. Okay.
You're 7 and 4. So my job to fool you is actually working.
You're actually fooling me very well. What is he saying here? Just consulted WandaVision about 1950-66. Okay. Lisa Lane is close friend. Yes, I do know Lisa and her husband are friends with him. Yeah. Hey, Russ, how are you?
Hey, Russ.
So
all right, so you are 7 and 4 right now.
I'm sucking eggs here, but
horrible. Game sucks now.
Okay, next up, I don't know who this is. He looks familiar. Okay,
that is Polly Holiday. Do you remember the TV show Alice, where she was a waitress with Vic Tayback?
Mm-hmm.
That was Flo. She was the one that says, "Kiss my grits, Mel."
Never watched the show.
Well, that was a big saying, like, where's the beef?
Now,
kiss my grits.
In that picture, she's 40 years old, and that must have been 1975. So it's almost 50 years ago, almost. So I would say dead, based on that.
All right, I was going to say Polly Holiday was born in 1937, 83 years old. She is alive. She is alive at 83 years old. Holly Holiday.
What am I?
Not rich, John.
5 for 7.
You are 7 and 5. Polly Holiday.
By the way,
Linda Lavin.
I think that's all the pictures. Oh, no, next this color one's coming up here, and it's not all pictures. All right, so
There's plenty of them on there.
I put a couple in too myself. So, in fact, it's almost 19 minutes too, and maybe I'll quiz you on the ones I put in. Let me buzz.
Go ahead. You know them? You know the answers?
I have 5 people. Yeah, I do. Yeah. All right, real quick. I think you gave me this, right?
Yeah.
Is that rerun?
That is rerun. Fred Berry.
No, I think he's dead. Because he's dead because I remember he died from diabetes or a heart attack or something because he was overweight.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Maybe both. Fred Berry. Fred Berry was born in 1951.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. And in 2003, Fred Berry died at the age of 51. Freddie Berry. The most notable thing out of this was in 51 years, my man Fred Berry was married 5 times.
Get out of here.
5 times. And it must have been the dancing. Remember he used to do that dancing?
Yeah, it was so silly. It was that stop and block stuff. Yeah. All right. How about this one here? This one up here. Ready? This is. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I remember this guy faintly. He was very popular in the 70s.
Wayne Rogers.
What was he in? What was that?
He was in MASH. He was in the first MASH. That was Trapper John, and then later on, something Purcell did a show, Trapper John MD, and that was supposedly him. Supposed to be him, but he was with Alan Alda.
That's a crapshoot.
Wayne Rogers.
I'll say dead. I think he's alive, but I'll say dead.
What are you saying? You can't take both.
Alive. He's alive.
Okay. 1933 born, 82 years old, died in 2015.
What's my score?
7 and 6. See what you did? You said he was alive. You said he was dead. And I jacked you into saying he was alive.
Okay.
7 and 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Wayne Rogers.
You jack me, and I'll be jacking you later. All right. All right. So I got one more wrong. I'm at the even point here. All right. So you ready here? Here we go.
Shirley Hemphill.
Yep.
What's happening?
Dead.
She was there with Fred Berry.
Dead.
Shirley, are you sure?
I'm just giving you. No, you're not jacking me again. She's dead.
1947, at the ripe old age of 52, she died in 1999. She didn't even have to worry about the world ending. Okay, so I'm 8 and 6. 8 and 6. She didn't have to worry about the world ending.
All right, now
everybody knows that. What's his name? Roy Scheider is dead. He died of cancer. He smoked like a fiend. Yeah. But his wife in Jaws, Lorraine Gary.
I interviewed the kid that got eaten in Jaws. We did that, remember?
Yes.
And I remember hearing the story back then when we did the interview about the kid that got eaten about this woman. I believe she's dead also for some weird way.
But that's not Mrs. Kintner.
Oh.
That's not Mrs. Kintner. Mrs. Kintner was the mother of the kid who got eaten. She died of COVID recently. This is the mother of the wife of Roy Scheider in Jaws. Lorraine Gary.
The thing was filled with problems, so I'm going to say dead.
Lorraine Gary, 1937 she was born, 83 years old. She is alive. She's still cranking. Elaine Gary is still cranking.
All right.
She didn't look good back in Jaws 4, but in that right now she did. She looked good. So you are 8 and 7 right now.
I'm going to do 1 or 2 more real quick because I want to throw some at you.
All right, Diana, what's up?
Diana's saying hello to you. All right, let's see. After that one is... You
know that one?
Was this the Jeffersons or?
No, she was on. That was on Good Times. That was Willona, the next door neighbor, Jeanette Dubois.
A lot. I didn't really watch Good Times a lot, but I remember her face.
She sang the theme song for Moving On Up.
Oh, did she really?
For the Jeffersons, yes. She was the singer of that song.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna say dead. Dead.
She was born in 1945 at the ripe old age of 76. She died in 2020. Walona died, and you're happy about it.
Yes, I am. All right. Did you give me this? Yes, you gave me this one too. Now he's a friar.
You know who that is?
He's a friar from the Friars Club. He's been very ill for many years. He's up and down, but he is alive. Larry Storch from F Troop.
Larry Storch. Larry Storch is from 1923. Larry Storch is 98 years old and still cranking.
Thank you. And so are his teeth.
Corporal Agarn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's a friar. I've seen him at the Friars Club. He's very fun. He would come up and do all different accents. He was a vaudevillian. He did vaudeville shows.
Sure.
Come up. He would do Irish brogues. He would do all these different accents and tell story jokes, not jokes, but like long story kind of jokes, the old school stuff. Really great entertainer with tremendous, great guy.
His claim to fame was F Troop. He was Corporal Agarn. He showed up, I think, like as a bank robber on Gilligan's Island. He would show up on the Love Boat as a bank robber, and then he would, he'd be on Quincy as a bank robber.
Well, now he's showing up alive.
By the way, he's alive. 98.
He lives in New York City. He's an apartment in New York City. All right, let me give you one more real quick. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Is that Ed Asner and Mary Tyler Moore?
Ed Asner. Yeah, so Mary Tyler Moore, everybody knows that she passed away recently, but does anybody know if Ed Asner is alive or dead? Lou Grant. That was it, Lou Grant. He was Lou Grant on that show and Lou Grant on his show.
Ed Asner, wasn't he head of the movies in L.A. for the awards? Just he was the president of the, one of those awards? I believe he was.
I don't know, but it's the last time I remember a picture of him, his face was really marked up with
okay, dead.
Ed Asner? 1929, 92 years old, alive.
See, Charlie Fisher had it right. Okay, all right.
He's alive. He said he was alive?
What's my score?
You are now, I believe, 8-8.
All right.
8-8.
3 or 4 more. I don't know who some of these people are. Like, I'm looking at this picture here. She's beautiful, but it's such an old picture. She's got to be dead. So
that's Pat Priest. So that is the other Marilyn.
The other Marilyn. Okay, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is gorgeous there.
Has to be dead.
Pat Priest. 1936, 84 years old. She is the Marilyn that is alive.
Wow.
So the other one was dead. She is alive. Listen, Dave Merlin or one of those guys told you that before, that she was alive.
I don't remember. Do you think I'm thinking about Pat Priest?
No, you're thinking about my picture of me in a tuxedo at 8 years old.
I don't know who this is.
All right, this one here. This is a good one. If I'm not mistaken, and I forgot, but I think this is Olivia de Havilland.
Dead.
Olivia de Havilland was in old movies. She was born in 1916.
Definitely has to be dead.
1916.
She'd be 100 and something years old. She's dead.
She's 104 years old, and she's still alive.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
She is still alive. Let me tell you. And I Googled, I said, oldest living celebrity, and her name popped up.
Wow, so I'm losing big time now.
You are now under 500. But look at her then. I don't want to look at her now.
Yeah. That's her then, right? That is her then. And then is this her now?
A lot of people don't know this. And I don't know if you know this. A life insurance policy. If you have a life insurance policy on yourself, like whole life, it's not term, but it's a whole life policy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know at 100 years old, they pay it out?
Do they really?
If you're still alive, you get all the money.
And what are you going to do with it when you're 100 years old?
It depends.
Hey, I need some more toilet paper to wipe my. I only have bills. That's fine. Give me the 100. I like to wipe with the hundreds.
Right at that point.
All right, look at that. She's cutie too. That was the girl from F Troop. The other girl.
Yeah, Wrangler Jane.
Yeah, Wrangler Jane. Cute girl.
Melanie Patterson.
I have no idea what. I don't know. Melanie.
I wasn't giving you easy ones here.
I don't know. Dead.
All right. Well, there you go. There's throwing a dart at a dartboard, huh?
Yeah, it is.
1949, 66 years old, died in 2015. 99, but she was a beauty back then. I loved her in that tour. 99.
I love
Joanne Woodward.
Lives in LA. I know for a fact she's alive.
You do know. Yeah, okay. So she was born in 1937. She's 83 years old, and she's still alive. But what was she on besides Laugh-In and Love Boat?
Don't know. I never heard
Laughing. I don't even know what she's famous for.
Laughing.
I think she might have been on like Tattletales also with Bert Convy.
Yeah, maybe. Boy,
she was like one of those, the people who were famous for no reason.
I know she's alive because I have friends of mine that said they go to her house for parties.
Joanne Woodward is alive.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm 10 to 9.
You are 10 to 9 right now.
All right, who's this guy?
You know who this is.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Dean Jones. Remember the movie Herbie the Love Bug?
Yeah, I never watched that movie.
Herbie the Love Bug. He was in a lot of older Escape to Witch Mountain. I think he was in a lot of Disney movies. Dean Jones.
All right, so I throw that one.
Throw a dart.
Dead or alive?
Throw a dart.
Dead.
You always throw the dead dart. Dean Jones is dead. 1931. He was born, died in 2015. So I mean, it was not too long ago.
All right, real quick. She's beautiful too. Who was that?
Marcia Strassman. She was the wife on Carter. Welcome back, Carter.
That's right.
Beauty.
Now he's alive. Carter.
Gabe Kaplan's alive. That's why I didn't pick Gabe Kaplan. John Travolta is alive.
Alive. She's alive.
Yes. Marcia Strassman. No, I said yes. I didn't say anything yet. Marcia Strassman, 1946, 72 years old, died in 2014. That is a waste.
That is a
because that is a wholesome girl right there.
Beautiful girl. All right, so am I winning or losing right now? Because that's
10 and 10.
What?
You are 10 and 10.
I'm even. Okay, so let's give
you 500.
Okay, you ready? I got a list here. Let's see if I got a couple. We only got several minutes left. All right, so this is good. Let's see if I get you one of these. How about there you go.
Oh, that's the little girl on Poltergeist.
That's right.
I'm saying dead because everybody in that movie is dead, except Craig T. Nelson.
Okay, good. Do you know what that is for you? You are absolutely right.
Everybody's dead. She was like one of the, I think she died right after the movie.
Yeah. Actually, it's a tragic thing, which is weird. She tragically passed away in 1988 at just 12 years old, undergoing surgery.
Yeah. There was a poltergeist curse.
Yeah.
And she was the first to go.
And you could visit her grave in Hollywood, Haunted Hollywood tour in LA. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. That people are going to it? Yes.
Okay. So let's keep your score. You got one right.
One.
Thank you. All right. Next one coming up real quick. I'm going to do these fast for you. Ready? Who is
that? Chris Penn?
That's correct. Chris Penn.
Chris Penn, I happen to know he was a lot fatter. He was in the movie Rush Hour, and Chris Penn is dead.
Wow. You're correct. You know,
he is dead.
He was in a couple strong, big movies. What were they? Do you remember?
Chris Penn was in Rush Hour. I know that.
Okay.
48 Hours?
Nope.
What?
He was in Footloose and Reservoir Dogs. He passed away in 2006 at age 40 from cardiomyopathy.
Yeah, he died.
Okay, so that's two. You're 2 for 2.
That was recent. That was just recent. Maybe a couple 3 years ago.
I'm hating on you already. You got 2 for 2. I'm like, I want you to fail now. I want you to fall. I want you to come off the cliff. All right, you ready? This isn't easy. This is easy.
Is that Margot Kidder?
No.
Who is that?
You know, Margot Kidder. You know, when you first look at her, I think it's easy to kind of say that. You're right, but no, that's Jan Hooks.
Oh, Jan Hooks from Saturday Night Live.
That's right, Jan Hooks from Saturday Night Live.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that she died, so I'm going to say she's alive.
She actually is dead.
Is she dead?
Yeah, she's dead.
Why are you hating on me?
I'm not. I'm just happy to get you on one. I'm just, you know, Jan Hooks was in the 80s in the Saturday Night Live, and she was like, you know, huge at the time. But you know, Dennis Miller and Phil Hartman,
yeah,
all that stuff. But she was the nightclub singer with Candy Sweeney of the Sweeney Sisters.
Okay, yeah.
And she was smug, and her Sinead O'Connor was like really crazy too. Anyway, she was there in 91. She died, let's see, I have it written down, October of 2014 at age 57 after fighting.
Did she really?
She has a major illness. I don't know how she died, but it was a major illness, it said.
That's a good one, because
that's a good one.
I would have never thought of
So
that.
I would have thought one. One for one, right? One for one?
No, I'm two. I got two.
You got 2 for 1? All right. This is an easy one, I think.
Oh, that's Bing Rames. No. Michael Clark Duncan.
Wow, you're good. You do watch a lot of television. Boy,
Michael Clark Duncan, and I do remember that he is dead.
Yeah, he is. You're
he's dead. The Green Mile guy.
2012.
Also...
2012 from a heart attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the Green Mile.
You're 3 for 2 now?
He's walking to the light on the Green Mile.
You're going to know this one. I know why you're going to know this one.
Yeah. Just
because you're a fan.
They knew the answer. I changed the question. He has some of the greatest lines in history. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. That's Rowdy Roddy Piper, real name Roderick Toombs, is dead.
That's right. 2015, you'll win again. And do you know what he suffered from?
I'm going to say, I don't know the answer, so I'll take the easy way out and say cancer.
It was a pulmonary embolism that triggered a heart attack. That's a weird one, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
all right. So what's the score on you now? Where are we?
I am 4-1.
Okay. All right.
The only one I got wrong was Jan Hooks.
Let me throw this one at you.
That's Tyler, right? Liv Tyler?
That's correct.
Liv Tyler was in the movie Armageddon, is the daughter of Steven Tyler, the singer from Aerosmith, and she is more than alive. She is still beautiful, so she's alive.
Stevie Ryan is her name.
No, Liv Tyler.
Stevie Ryan. Her name is Stevie Ryan, rather.
But it is her stage name is Liv Tyler, correct?
She's a YouTube person that had millions of followers on the Little Loca show.
All right, so then I don't know who she is.
Yeah, Stevie TV. You know, so yeah, so you know.
All right, hang on. Let me change. I'm going to change my thing here. You're bringing up a very young, pretty girl who's YouTube, so she's around right now,
and she does look like Tyler's daughter. Yes.
Yeah, so you would not be bringing her up if she was alive, because you could pick anybody. So you picked her because she was dead.
I hate idiot savants. Okay.
I'm good at tests.
You're going too good here. All right, next one up real quick.
Zsa
Zsa.
Zsa Zsa Gabor was 100 years old back in the 80s.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And I got a great story about Zsa Zsa real quick, because we're done here. Zsa Zsa is long dead. She probably has died twice already. She probably came back, was reincarnated, and died again. But Zsa Zsa, I don't know if you know this, I sell real estate as well. And there's a house here in Goshen, New York, that was Zsa Zsa and Ava's spa. And I sold that house to a client. Yes.
I didn't know she was doing anything upstate New York. All right.
Well,
let me give you one more real quick. I got to tell me if you know who this guy is. You ready?
Yes, that is Taylor Negron.
Wow.
Taylor Negron was a comedian. He was also in the movie The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis. And Taylor Negron died.
You're like Ralph Cramden. He was in 1946, and he also he's like he found that Cramden. He was doing that.
Taylor Negron, and he died of cancer. I think he did die of cancer probably about 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Yeah, that's you're correct. By the way, Jaja Gabor, I just looked it up real quick. She did die. Yeah,
she died. She probably died in 1992.
So 99 years old.
Yeah, she was 100 years old.
But her tombstone says 75. She never wanted to be old,
Jaja. Yeah. She's. Yeah, I knew who Taylor Negron was. He was a comic back in the 80s, but
great comic in the 80s. He's 57 years old, and he was a victim of liver cancer. And he had the greatest bit in the world where he used to come on and do a bit about area rug. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. That was his great bit.
No, but I do remember him. He was the bad guy in The Last Boy Scout.
Yeah, he used to come and walk into a store in L.A. He said, you walk into a store, and they have this Pakistani guy selling the rugs with the broom, and he goes, I'd like to buy an area. He goes, no, you want to buy an area. That was a very funny bit. All right, just before we get out of here, there is somebody that we don't know if he's alive or dead, but I'm going to put him up here, and you tell me what you think if he's alive or dead. The last person. Are you ready?
Yes. Now, is that John Cimino?
It is John Cimino. You got
John Cimino.
Right.
I'm going to take it. I didn't see him on the show tonight. He
wasn't on the show. No, he wasn't.
He wasn't on the show tonight. John Cimino, I happen to know, is alive, but I wish he was dead.
Fair enough. Which is a great way to end, and he hasn't even seen it yet.
Thank you to everybody watching. Hit that smash button.
Smash the button. What is the button that you're smashing?
On YouTube. Smash the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook. Tell your friends. Share this thing. Do whatever you can, because eventually, if it doesn't work, we're going to stop doing it.
That's right. We're out of here if this doesn't go on. So give us the smash, the like, and tell your friends. Have a good time. Tell everybody, and let us all know. All right, well, till next week.
Till next week, when we come up with a new topic, it's all cool.